back from the bookstore. I'm done eating Taco Bell, and now my heart is ready to talk about all the books that I got. Okay, the first book I got, this book was on my radar before it even came out. The Teacher by Frida McFadden. I love that it's called The Teacher because I feel like this is about to be some relatable stuff, because if you know, you know. But anyway, let's talk about it. It says, lesson number 1 in the back. Trust no one. Eve has a good life. She gets up each day, gets a kiss from her husband, and heads off to teach math at the local high school. All is as it should be, except, dun dun dun. Last year, Caseham High was rocked by a scandal with one student, Addie, at its center. And this year, Eve is dismayed to find the girl in her class. Addie can't be trusted. She lies, she hurts people, she destroys lives. At least that's what everyone says. But nobody knows the real Addie. Nobody knows the secrets that could destroy her if people at the school found out. And when Eve discovers the shocking truth, Addie will do anything to keep her quiet. So my question is, what is the shocking truth? And what does Addie try to do to keep her quiet? Like, what? And guys, if you know anything about Frida McFadden books, they are usually like page turners. Like, they're usually like so freaking good. This is my 3rd book by her. I know that The Housemaid is actually a series. Like, there's a 2nd book or whatever. But I didn't pick it up. I saw it. I could have gotten it, but I didn't. I was like, I wanted this one instead. Because The Teacher, it just seemed like it's calling my name. Like, it just seemed like I should read this book, you know? So I'm super excited to read that one. The other book I got, which I realized I had to get this book because I have another book in this series, but I didn't know that it was a series until like way later. Well, I didn't realize it was a series until after I bought the book, made a video about it, and then someone was like, oh, this book actually is first. And I was like, oh, thank you. So this is exactly why I love YouTube. But anyway, this one, Abby Jimenez, Part of Your World. Is that what it's called? Yep, Part of Your World. I really wanted to read her book, Yours Truly, but this one comes first, I think. So yeah, I've never read an Abby Jimenez book before, but a lot of people voted Abby as one of their favorite romance authors. And so I was like, that's interesting, because that's just interesting. So I'm super curious as to what is it about her writing, what is it about her books that make it like so popular and popular enough to be someone's favorite author, you know, consistently. So yeah, let's talk about what the synopsis says that it's about. It says, after a wild bet, gourmet grilled cheese sandwich, and cuddle with a baby goat, Alexis Montgomery has had her world turned upside down. The cause? Daniel Grant. Of course, it's because of a boy. Of course, a guy. A ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her, and as casual as they come, the complete opposite of sophisticated city girl I can't even say her name. Alexis. So basically, he's the complete opposite of her. And yet their chemistry is undeniable, per usual. While her ultra-wealthy parents want her to carry on the family legacy of world-renowned surgeons, Alexis doesn't need glory or fame. She's fine with being a mere ER doctor. In every minute she spends with Daniel and the tight-knit town where he lives, she's discovering just what's really important. Yet letting their relationship become anything more than a short-term fling will mean turning her back on her family and giving up the opportunity to help thousands of people. Dang. Bringing Daniel into her world is impossible, and yet she can't just give up the joy she's found with him either. With so many differences between them, how can Alexis possibly choose between her world and his? The title, it all makes sense. It just all makes sense. Part of Your World. They have 2 conflicting worlds. It seems like they can't fit inside each other's world. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? I already am hooked just by that synopsis. I'm super excited to figure out, like, what do they end up doing actually? Like, do they, like, yeah, what do they end up doing? Have you read this book? Like, let me know. And then the last book I got was a book that was also on my radar. This is a new release for the year 2024. This is on my 2024 TBR list. It is this one, The Fury by Alex Nicolaides. Now, I've only read one novel by him, but I have a second one that I haven't read yet. The first novel I read, you may have heard of it. It's called The Silent Patient. Absolutely loved it. One of my favorite novels of the year, last year, or was it 2 years ago? I can't remember. But whenever I read it, I was like, oh my god, I was really hooked. So I know he's a good writer based off that one story. Everybody talks about The Silent Patient. If you have not read The Silent Patient and you like thrillers, you need to go read that book. Like, what are you waiting for? yeah. The other book that I have by him is called The Maidens. I haven't read it yet, but this one, The Fury. Why is it always the something? But anyway, The Fury. Let's talk about what this one is about. This is a tale of murder. Period. Or maybe that's not quite true. At its heart, it's a love story, isn't it? Lana, Farrar. Okay, Lana is a reclusive ex-movie star and one of the most famous women in the world. Every year, she invites her closest friends to escape the English weather and spend Easter on her private Greek island. I just want to point out that at the time of me filming this video, Easter is tomorrow. And this thing just said, to escape the English weather and spend Easter on her private Greek island. I'm just saying I'm in flow with the universe. Anyway, let me keep going. I tell you this because you may think you know this story. You probably read about it at the time. It caused a real stir in the tabloids, if you remember. It had all the necessary ingredients for a press sensation. A celebrity, a private island cut off by the wind, and murder. We found ourselves trapped there overnight. Our old friendships concealed hatred and a desire for revenge. What followed was a game of cat and mouse, a battle of wits, full of twists and turns, building to an unforgettable climax. The night ended in violence and death. But who am I? My name is Elliot Chase, and I'm gonna tell you a story unlike any you've ever heard. So somebody's telling us the story or what? Wait, whoa, you know? This just seemed like a really freaking good book. Like, yeah, it just seems good. And it also seems like a short read. Like, there are less than, wait, hold up. This book seems tiny, actually. Less than 300 pages. I haven't read a book this short in a long time, actually. That's actually, like, really encouraging. Okay, so this book has 295 pages in it. It's a good sized book. It's a good, small, medium book. And I have a feeling it's gonna be like action-packed and a lot of fun. If you are interested in reading any of these books along with me, then definitely be sure to subscribe, especially if you haven't at this point. Like, here's your invitation to do so. And also, side note, if you are into reading mangas, can you give me your best manga recommendation? I was over there in that section for way too long just looking at all the books, and I was like, dang, they have like 14 books in this thing. Like, I don't even know how it really works, but I really want to read a manga. I just want to like experience it, try it out. But I was immediately overwhelmed by all of the options, the choices. My first thought was like, let me get like Pokemon because I know Pokemon. But then I was like, there's so many Pokemon books. And then I was like, well, let me get like The Legend of Zelda. But then I was like, why am I going to get The Legends of Zelda when there's so many other good books but I just don't know which one to get? So then I was like, let me just ask the YouTube community. So if you guys read manga, please leave your best manga recommendation below. If you don't read manga, maybe you should like try a different genre too and just see if you like it. I've never read anything like it, but ever since I started watching The Last Airbender on Netflix, have you guys seen that? It's like a reimagined anime show with real characters. It's all on Netflix, the animated version and the reimagined version with like actual people. And then I just saw yesterday that season 2 and season 3 are gonna come out. So if you watch anime, leave a comment below and let me know, where are the anime people at? And also, if you do watch anime on Netflix, drop below your favorite anime recommendation. Like, what show should I watch after I finish The Last Airbender, Avatar, or whatever? Because I am loving it. Like, I feel so invested. I almost bought the Avatar books, but then I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Alright, y'all, so I need to add my newest books to my TBR bookshelf, which is this one. And I need to like pick the books that I'm going to be reading for the month of April. Almost at October. I've already started reading one book. If you have been keeping up with my reading vlogs, which totally go check them out if you haven't. I am reading Magnolia Parks in this one, so I definitely want to like finish this book in April. So that one is already on the list. So that's one book. If you don't know what Magnolia Parks is about, go watch my last reading vlog because I talk about it very heavily in that one. And I'm going to talk about it again in an upcoming one, so I don't want to like overload you with Magnolia Parks. I'm also going to be reading Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia to Fairies. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I picked this book up actually in San Antonio. I have a video of me book shopping in San Antonio. I really want to read this book because I am a fantasy girly. I'm trying to read different genres this month. So far I have romance, and then I have fantasy, And so then that's when I'm kind of like, what do I read next? I kind of want to do 4 books because one book that I know that I want to read is like huge. But I also want to read The Teacher, the book that I just got today. I want to read that by Frida McFadden just because like it's April and like it's coming towards the end of the school year for teachers. And so I kind of want to read it while school is still in session because I think that would be very interesting, you know. Have you guys read it? I know it's her newest novel, but like, have you read it? What are your thoughts on it? Some people have read every single book by her. So have you read this one? I'm super curious. I'm gonna throw in a romantasy. You know I have to because fantasy is one thing, romance is another thing, but like romantasy, ooh, that is my jam. This one, it is time for me to dive into this. Girl, look at how thick this book is. I need a moment, okay? That's why I'm like, me adding this book to any TBR is crazy because this might be the only book I end up reading if I start with this one. I'm gonna make sure that I save some time and space and opportunity for this mother of a book, bro. Like, look at, like, dude, how many pages is this? I can barely hold it, it's heavy. This book has 699 pages. You might as well call it 700 because let's add the synopsis. This book is like literally 699 pages. She couldn't do one more page, you know. But dude, that's huge. Anyway, this is the 3rd book of the Akatar series. I have so many reading vlogs and book shopping videos of me talking about that. So I'll link all the videos below of me talking about the 1st book, the reading vlogs of the 2nd book, and I would love to do a reading vlog of the 3rd book. Here's what I have at the moment for my April TBR. If I do end up reading more, obviously I'm going to talk about it at the end of the month for my monthly wrap-up. And then I'm going to also probably film about it in a reading vlog. So rest assured, you're going to know the books that I'm reading. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. If you have liked everything that you have seen, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video next week. Bye-bye.